We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up all our friends, fill up the car till it bends because we wanna. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my studio. We had so much fun with that last tumbler. We're going to do another one. Again, I'm going to be using paint skins. So, I grabbed a tumbler blank. I don't know if I can lift this. I grabbed my small collection of paint skins to sort through, and I'm going to figure something out. So let's see what I come up with. Hang in there. Okay, I've already started, but I will explain what I'm doing so you sort of get an idea. So, I'm having some fun with some paint skins. I've got a selection of paint skins that I've picked on the side. I have a white piece of paper that is the exact size for a full tumbler wrap all the way around. And I have taped it to a piece of wax paper. So it is sort of my pattern. I have to fit inside that square, my design. Then I took a batch of paint skins. Right now I've worked with my sort of green brown and then my brown. And over that way I have a batch of other paint skins. And we're gonna make a scene here from little bits of paint skin all glued together. And we'll see how it works. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll try. So we're making our little beach scene here. So we got our grassy area. Now we're sort of making a sandy area with these light brown paint skins. And I'm literally just taking a piece of paint skin and gluing it to the ones that are already here, sort of randomly, in the hopes that when I'm done, it has something cute looking. We'll see.
What's your story? What's your sign?
All right. Well, that looks cool. Okay. Now I'm going to get a bigger brush. Hold on a minute. Okay, now I've gotten my big Modge Podge brush. And we're just going to coat the whole thing over top with a nice coat of Modge Podge to seal it all together. And then we'll be ready to move on. The Modge Podge dries clear, so we don't have to worry about that. And everything should be well attached to each other. And we'll be ready to see if this is going to work. I have no idea, but it looks like fun. So while we're waiting for this to dry, I'm going to prep that tumbler up. I'm going to sand it and spray paint it and get it all ready to be wrapped. I'll be good to go. Hang on for part 2. Okay, we're ready to move on this project to the next step. So I've got my skin, it's all detached from that paper, and I've pulled my template off the back so I can place it on top and see where the major trims need to get done. So I don't want to trim too much off. Now I do want some overlap so that we don't have so much of a seam on the other side. Alright, so that trims that down so it's not going to be excessively too long. Like I said, I don't mind if I've got some pieces sticking out at the sides because when we wrap it. Now I have since prepped this tumbler, so it's been sanded, it's been cleaned, it's been spray painted. This is satin beach glass from Krylon. So that's all painted and ready to go. I'm going to get my cradle to help hold it in place while we're working. So we're going to start sort of in the middle and work our way around. And I'll trim off at the bottom when we need to. But first I just want to wrap it and see how good we are and where we're going to need a little something. See, like down here, up top, we got more than enough in overlap, so we'll have to get rid of some of that. But where we're going to run into problems is down here at the bottom, where it is not overlapping. So we're going to need to sort of put some pieces in here. All right, so I need a piece from here down to here. So let's take care of that. Okay, I have added a little bit to this side, so it's going to wrap fine on our tumbler. So if I put it on and I line it up, we're going to be golden when we get to this side. And I want the overlapping because we've already got a lot of overlaps, and that's going to make it look less obvious where the seam is, except for right here. And there's not much I can do about that. Okay, so we're ready to glue. So, like I said, we want to sort of start in the middle. I'm going to put some Modge Podge in our little cup here, make it easier to work with. And we're going to start just putting glue on the tumbler. Actually, I probably won't use that. Now I'm thinking about it, it'll be easier to manipulate without it. So I'm going to start with a nice healthy dose of Modge Podge right here in the middle to get us started. I'm going to set that nice and straight, up and down, a little bit more. Right there. We're going to press that. Now we're going to work to one side and then the other side. So we make sure now we go all the way around, that everything is well glued and well down. We have a pretty good matchup at the top there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because if necessary I can always pinstripe it. Let's see, we have less of a seam in this bottom part. We just have a seam here because of the overlapping. Awesome. All right. I'm liking that. All right, I'm gonna roll it a little bit just to make sure it is really adhered all around. And we will be ready to put a sealing coat on. So the next step is, again, like we Modge Podged it when we first put it together, we want to again put a total coat of Modge Podge because we want to make sure we get these seams up at the top and the bottom really well. And I'm not worried about the big gaps at the bottom because we're going to glitter this in a little bit after this is all sealed. All right, so that's all nice and coated. We're going to stand that up in its stand and let it dry, and we'll be back for next steps. Hang in there. Okay guys, I'm wearing respirators, so I'm going to do a voiceover. We're doing our first resin coat. This is Fast Set from Counterculture DIY. I've got about 30 millimeters of that mixed up in my cup. And I've taken some of it and put it into separate cups, and we're going to put some colors into those. So the first color is going to be this little piggy in Submarine, and the second one is going to be from Michael's Recollections collection in Pearl Sparkle, and that's why I can do a little extra fun as I'm putting this resin coat on. So watch and let's have some fun. Okay guys, this got 2 coats of the Fast Set resin, and then I did some sanding, especially in the area where I want to put the decal. Now I'm putting the decal on the back to sort of cover up this seam line and not on the front because I like the front and I want it to stay pretty. So we've got it all nice and smooth. I've got my decal all made up. So I've got this beautiful teal on top of this beautiful bronze. And we're going to put that on. Now we want to do this by working from the center out and smoothing very carefully. So we're going to line it up along that center line, and then we want to just very carefully and slowly, emphasize the word slowly, because you don't want it to wrinkle on you by you're going too fast. And just slowly get it down without getting any wrinkles or bumps. And we When you get the one side down, and you can start on the second side. And once you're pretty sure you've got it good, I still got one little spot. Then you're going to take your tool and sort of burnish it some more. Try and make sure you got it everywhere. And then you're going to peel off that transfer tape. You can give it a little more pressing down here and there where you think it needs it some more. And now we just want to let it sit for a little while, because the adhesive on the vinyl is going to set and get more firm as it sits. So you don't want to like rush into putting your resin on. You want it to have time to sit and really adhere. And give it some good pressing down. And then if you're worried at all about it lifting and causing you trouble, then I'd highly recommend, after you've let it sit for a little while, and you've double checked to make sure you've got no bubble spots or wrinkles that you haven't pressed out, that you then spray it with your clear spray to seal it down so nothing lifts up when you put the resin on. So we're going to let this sit and let that rest. I'll probably put some clear spray on it after an hour or so, and then we'll be ready to start with some of the final resin coats. So hang in there. Okay, before we move on to putting resin over top of this vinyl, I'm going to remind you, you have to clean up your edge. I usually do it a couple times, usually between the fast set coats and the final coats. You definitely want to do it. You can do it after every coat if you really want, but you have to do it more than once, because you see these little goobers here? You see that? You don't want him sitting there and getting hard. So you're going to take your knife and you're just going to go around the inside edge. You're going to clean up all that mess. Like to stick to your knife. And you're going to run it around the inside edge to get any resin that's gone in there out. And once you're done doing the inside edge, you're going to do a little higher up, because you want to get this top edge nice and clean, because you don't want any resin on this part of the cup. So you're just going to go around here and clean up that edge. Then the next step is we're going to get our sanding block. This is a light sanding block, so this is a 220 grit. We're going to go around again just to make sure we've got that edge nice and clean. And then because this is not our final coat, we're going to want to tilt and get this top edge a bit. And what you're working for is to see just a little of the silver. You knock off the resin and the paint down a bit all the way around, so that those final coats really grip well to your cup. All right, and after you've done that, you want to make sure you're cleaning up all that dust. So you can wash it with 91% alcohol a couple times to make sure you got all the dust off, or you can wash the whole cup. Just want to make sure you clean up that edge really nice so you got all the dust. And the next thing we're going to do is put it back on the stick. Put that back in there. So we're ready to go. And now, because I've been touching it with my hand, again, take my 91% alcohol and give it a nice wiping all over so that I know I have removed any of the oils from my fingers off of everything. And now we're ready for resin. So hang in there.
Okay, I'm doing a voiceover again because I'm wearing my respirator. We're ready to start the final coats of epoxy. For this, we're using KS Resin's Liquid Art Ultra UV Epoxy. For a 20-ounce tumbler, I need about 20 ounces of 20 milliliters, not ounces, of resin. So that's what's mixed up in my cup. And of course, I'm going to add a little It's Pretty Personal Diamond Dust, this time the touch of gold sheet. You don't need a lot of this. A little bit goes a long way. And I think I put a little too much. But, you know, what's a little extra sparkle in your day? So we're going to stir that up really well into our epoxy. It's going to make it all pretty and shiny. And then we're going to get this on the cup. And when I'm done, I'll give you a little close-up so you can see all that pretty shine.
There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights.
Okay, we have the final results on this one. It is looking so beautiful. It's getting close so you can see hopefully that sparkle. Look at that sparkle. Just so sparkly. I think it came out great. So happy. All right, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell to see more videos. Have a wonderful day.
So let's show them